Echo Oscar.
Roger Zulu Echo Oscar. What's the name there?
Name is William, and we're in Flat Rock, North Carolina, sir.
Roger, North Carolina. And what radio are you running there?
I have Kenwood 890.
Oh, roger that, William. And if you would, why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna there, and let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Well, I'm actually going to switch antennas before we... and you tell me if it improves.
Alrighty.
Antenna number 2.
All right, go back to 1.
Antenna 1.
Roger, it looks to be about a dB and a half to 2 dB hotter on 1 than 2. 1 looks a little bit better than 2, Roger, but they're both very similar, Roger.
Roger, well, I appreciate it because I'm actually, I put together a DX Commander. I bought it last year and finally put it together. And it's been a while since I ran it vertical, but for a minute I thought it was deaf because the noise floor. I just got back inside and, you know, I looked at coax, I looked at connectors, I switched connectors. Anyway, I appreciate your time with the other antenna number. I appreciate you. Maybe it's just location where it is, but I mean the noise floor. Well, it just doesn't hear the same, and I know it's not going to, but I thought there was something wrong with it. Over.
Oh, Roger. Well, you know, sometimes vertical antennas are quieter than horizontal antennas. They just seem to be quieter, but doesn't necessarily mean that their radiation power is greater than a horizontal. And about the only way you can tell is, you know, down the road 300 or 400 miles. Roger. You know, down the road 300 or 400 miles. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. And with someone like you who said, "Hey, do you have a question?" I was like, "That's the person I'm looking for."
Oh, Roger that. So, gosh, there, William, if you need a little assistance on that setup, we might want to check the transmit bandwidth to be sure that we're in that wide mode, 100 to 2900. Sometimes things can happen there that we wind up on a lesser mode than 100 to 2900, and if we don't check it every once in a while, we could be operating in a deficit, so to speak, because 100 to 2900 will let that transmitter be all that it can be, and then give you just a slice of daylight there to make sure you don't get into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Make sure you don't get into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Roger, I believe I have... my bandwidth to transmit 300 to 2800 is where I've got it.
Yes, sir. No, you don't want that. You want your 100 to 2900. That will let your transmitter operate at its best capability. That other is a lesser setting that you don't want. 100 to 2900, and you should have 3 options there, usually, and one of those options is 100 to 2900, and it's called wide because it does let your transmitter operate in its best condition. Roger?
It does let your transmitter operate in its best condition. Roger?
Yeah, Roger, we'll hunt that down, but I kind of purposely, in previous understanding, didn't want to waste too much time on a bunch of lows or highs that did not matter and focus my wattage on a more narrow bandwidth was my previous understanding.
Roger, Roger. Well, listen, the 2900 is the higher the frequency that you can get there, the more articulated your audio is going to be. As you start in those lesser bands, like 2800, 2700, 2600, you're rolling off the top end of your audio spectrum, of your transmit capability. So what you really want is the thing called wide, 100 to 2900, and that will let your top end, where all the articulation is, be as best it can be. 100 to 2900. It's called wide.
It can be 100 to 2900. It's called wide.
All right, Roger. We'll certainly look into that and make it one of my settings. I have become quite interested as to where audio begins and RF ends, so that was quite opportune. I appreciate it.
Oh, Roger that. And if you're not sure where it is, it's in a menu, settings, transmit, sideband, in that area there. Roger, Roger.
Sideband in that area there. Roger, Roger.
Oh no, I know where it is because I have gone in and changed it. So and you know, you can have three, four different profiles on this thing. So you know, I enjoy playing with all those things because I think a lot of people could complain about their equipment, but if you really didn't go in there and not be afraid to play with your knobs, just I think you're doing yourself an injustice, Roger.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm copying you right now about 3 dB over my noise level, so I'm hoping that along the way we might find something that kind of pulls your level up a little bit. Usually the first thing is the transmit bandwidth. The next would be the compressor processor, and we recommend a 3 on that. You know, if you go past a 3 on the compression processor, it starts to pump between the words, and that doesn't do anybody any good. So we recommend a 3 on the compressor processor. It's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled, Roger.
3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled, Roger.
Roger. Well, that's where my compressor is around now. It rarely goes above 5.
Roger, Roger. Well, you know, it starts to pump. It starts to pump after 3, so and that doesn't really do anybody any good. As a matter of fact, some people find that suck up between words kind of irritating. So that's why we suggest a 3. It's probably the best point that you're going to find on that compressor as far as working actually on the word and not sucking up between the words. So 3 on the compressor processor or 30 depending on how it's labeled, and then into our ALC. As you look at the ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and you say the magic word audio, you become a human test tone generator. And as you look at that ALC meter, we want to put that in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 by way of mic gain manipulation as you say the word audio. Roger, we're not necessarily interested in the back half of that word. It's just the part that gives you the tone, steady state tone to set your modulation level. Roger?
Steady state tone to set your modulation level. Roger?
All right, Roger. I'm on it could be 8. And there's a compression again. I'm barely getting any movement, but I did widen from 100 to 2900. Did you notice?
Yes, sir. Just a slight, but every little bit counts when you're talking about the upper parts of your audio spectrum in your modulation, because that's where all the articulation is. And articulation is the name of the game. I mean, you've heard stations that are so loud, they're terribly loud, but they're muffled. I mean, you can't understand hardly what they're saying because they don't have any top end in their audio. So that's the thing about the 100 to 2900. It allows you to transmit the best top end possible for maximum articulation. Roger?
For maximum articulation. Roger?
Okay, Roger. And then I did turn off the equalizer just to see if that's, because I had, I normally emphasize the high, barely emphasize the mids, and kind of just keep the lows just at zero. But now I turn that off and we're just running flat with 100 to 2900. Roger?
Roger. So, we could probably get you sounding a little bit better if you go to that equalizer. Is that a two-band equalizer, 3-band, or 8-band, or what kind of equalizer do you have there?
Is there a 3-band or 8-band, or what kind of equalizer do you have there?
We can go from 300 to 29. I can adjust each. I can adjust each parameter on its own. I just don't have a preset.
Roger. So you're saying you have an 8-band EQ or 3-band EQ or what?
So you're saying you have an 8-band EQ or 3-band EQ or what?
Hello?
All right, I got 0.3,
Hello?
0.9, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 2.1, 2.4, 2.7, all the way up to 5.1, sir.
All right, sir. So what we're looking for is to keep everything in the mids flat, plus or minus 0. So everything from 400 cycles up to 1.4 or 1.5 should be in the flat mode or off. So we preserve our mid-range as flat with no push or no cut. Roger.
With no push or no cut. Roger.
All right, we're there. Yes.
All right, so then we go up to the top-end EQ there, around 25. We're actually looking for 2700 as the push treble frequency, 2.7 kilohertz as the push frequency for your treble EQ. Roger?
Kilohertz as the push frequency for your treble EQ. Roger?
Roger, and I have that at plus 5 now.
Yes, sir, at 2.7?
Yes, sir, at 2.7?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, do you have a width control? Can you dial in a 4 as far as the width's concerned?
Can you dial in a 4 as far as the width's concerned?
So that would be 2.7 kilohertz as the push frequency, 4 as the width, and I think we might want to come up to do you have a 7? Can you push a 7 as far as that 2.7? Can you make it plus 7 on that EQ?
Plus 7 on that EQ.
But I had a gauge that did that. Double. Almost perfect double.
Yeah, we doubled, I think, sir. Come back.
All right. Well,
yeah, we doubled, I think, sir. Come back.
I've got 2.4, 2.7, 3.0. I do not see where the width of the adjustment. I had a gauge that did that, but right now I don't think that I control the width except for going to station.
Roger, Roger. Well, some radios do have a width control, which determines the shape of the equalization curve. A 4 is kind of broader on either side of 2.7 than a 1. So if you do not have a shape control, that's fine. It's just that it would make it just a little bit better if we could put it as a 4, a 2.7 kilohertz boost at 4. But if you do not have a shaper, then we would say make that a 7 as far as the push level. Roger?
Yeah, make that a 7 as far as the push level. Roger?
As far as I can push is a +6. +6 is the max. Well, I would have still across.
All right, so let's, if you still have a good copy, I'm kind of losing you a little bit, but maybe that's just momentary. Do you still have a good copy on me?
Momentary. Do you still have a good copy on me?
Yes, I have a perfectly good copy on you, sir.
All right, sir, so let's go to the base frequency, the lower one. It should be like 100 or 200 cycles right at the moment. We're looking for 200 cycles in that low frequency EQ, the base EQ, or number 1. We're looking for 200 hertz. Roger?
1, we're looking for 200 hertz. Roger?
Okay, well, I got the lowest I have is 300, then it goes to 0.
Yes, sir. Well, can you put in 200? Can you put in 200 instead of 300?
Can you put in 200? Can you put in 200 instead of 300?
Hey, dummy.
Roger, most radios do allow you to put in those frequencies. Just try it one time. See if you can put in 200 where it says 300.
Just try it one time. See if you can put in 200 where it says 300.
Negative. That is not adjustable, but I did.
Gosh, William, you have faded out pretty well. I do not have a copy on you now. Try come back one more time and see if conditions have changed, Roger.
Roger, this is KJ4ZEO.
Ah, that was better there. My gosh, that came up pretty well. So you cannot insert 200 in place of 300 on your base EQ. Is that a Roger?
That is a Roger. However, I do have a 0 option, so I'm just going to assume that it's allowing that width that you were referring to earlier. I bumped up 0 to +5, and I've got 0.3 at a +3.
Right. Well, usually what we want to do is try to keep those flat. To start to see what we got there. So can you get those in the flat configuration on the base end, Roger?
Roger, we are back to flat here in North Carolina.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I'm not... here's the other thing, too. Do you happen to have a P set of controls? A lot of radios switch to a P set of controls when you're running your compressor processor. So look around in that EQ area and make sure you don't have a P set of EQ controls that will go into effect if you're in the compressor processor.
Roger, I understand your question, of course, because my Jesus had that. I don't see where there's two separate equalizer controls in this radio. Compressor, no compressor. In this radio, I do have a compressor input and a compressor output option once we start going into compressor, which has always kind of confused me on a Kenworth.
Roger, Roger. Well, the output should be a 3 or a 5, right in that area there. It should be kind of reciprocal to the input. That if you're running a 3 in, you might try looking and see if you have a 3 out or a 5 out, somewhere in that area. Roger?
Roger, well, currently, if we're going to go talking about the processor, I have an input of 38 and an output of 41. And those settings, I'm going to use the word correspond with the compressor meter barely hitting the 5. And then the ALC bouncing around 8, 7, 8, maybe 9 on explosives.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. So, that's within ballpark of what we were talking about. But a 3, I think, input to that compressor would be better than exactly where you are now, because we're just looking for about a 3 or 4 dB manipulation from the compressor processor. Very, very light. Just barely there, 3 or 4 dB. So usually with a 3 in and a 4 out, you would be right at about a 3 or 4 dB manipulation on your compressor processor. Roger, Roger?
Okay, Roger, Roger. I've made adjustments, but now I'm not getting any bounce on my ALC.
All right, so if your level has fallen down, what you want to do is go back to your ALC meter, as you say the word audio, and adjust your mic level until your ALC level is in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Kilo Juliet 4, testing audio. Alright, well I had to turn my mic all the way up on that one, and the compressor is bouncing much lighter. Did you notice any difference, sir?
Not after you adjusted your ALC. You were back up to 100% modulation after you adjusted your ALC. But, that output can come up to a 5 if you want it. It's just a trim pot on the output of your compressor processor. So if you wanted, if you're running a 4, you could run that up to a 5. Then you would need to go back to your ALC meter and adjust your mic level down a little bit until you're back in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 on the ALC meter. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. That's okay. That's a little... Kilo Juliet 4 Zulu Echo Oscar. Okay.
Roger, and it's easier to set, I found, using that word audio, because it's a steady state tone. It's not a word or words that are bouncing all around. It's a very steady tone, and it's so easy to adjust your mic level into the sweet spot on the ALC meter at 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Well, if you like that, and I don't know, by the way, I'm William, and I think you may be the fella that I've heard for years that comes on and helps people with their audio. So I just think it's stupendous that I bumped into you, but before both of us maybe have to run out of time or something, let's go back, if you don't mind. I know you're steering me, but let's go back, because the only thing on my equalizers I've adjusted is that 2.0 kilohertz, and then we left off with the bass flat.
Roger, Roger. Okay, what is your max push capability on your treble EQ 2.7? Can you go to plus 10?
Negative. I'm at plus 6, and that's the roof.
That's the max push?
Roger.
Okay, so then we need to take a little bit off the bottom end because your EQ curve is leaning a little bit towards the bottom. I was hoping that we maybe had some more in the top to bring up the syllabic range, but and the problem is that we need to ideally get that bass frequency EQ down to 200 hertz. If we could get that down to 200 hertz, we would go to like a -5, and then your EQ curve, I think, would be just perfect there. But we are having some problems getting into that 200. Because 300 is too high. 300 is too high. 200 is just absolutely perfect for doing that bottom EQ roll-off. Roger?
Okay, Roger. Well, again, I think here I'm understanding about your audio frequency width question. Actually, I'm going to assume the reason they had 0 as one of the kilohertz is because it's probably going to go up from 0 to 200. So I turned that one down to -3, and then at the 300 kilohertz, I just bumped it down to -1, and I don't know if you can tell any difference.
Roger, Roger, William. Well, let's try this. On that 0 bass EQ there, try putting in 200 on that 0 EQ at the moment. Try putting a 200 in that 0. Will it take that?
Negative. It doesn't give me an option to change that. I mean, it's just there's a column, if you will, on the transmit equalizer adjustment column from 0 to 5.1 kilohertz.
Roger, Roger. Okay, so just to put 0 as 0, no cut, no whatever, I guess, and do that 300 as a -4. 300 is a -4, and let me hear it.
-4 from Kilo Juliet 4 Zulu Echo Oscar.
Roger. And the other question is, how close might you be to the microphone? Maybe we could pull off an inch or two further off mic, back from the mic, to see if we could reduce some of the low frequency operation of that microphone. Because the further you get back from the mic, there's a bass roll off that occurs. So maybe 2 inches further back than what you normally do. And let me hear that from you, Roger.
This is about 2 inches less than where I was.
All right, so then go back to your ALC and adjust for 100%, 7 or 2/3 on the sweet spot of your ALC to bring your level back up. As you pull off mic, your audio level drops and your bass frequency drops off.
All right, we're adjusting. I don't know, I increased the mic gain here. I'm still in the habit of poking my head forward, trying not to do that, but audio, I don't think.
I think it's sounding pretty good there. Just go ahead and set your level like you normally would. Audio, don't stress it. Just say it like you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic level until the ALC meter's in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Roger. What say you now?
All right, you're pushing pretty hard on that. Don't push quite so hard when you set that level. You try to use a level that you would use as any other word in a QSO, Roger?
All right, I understood. And I did turn it down. But then I'm still resting around 5 on my ALC now.
Okay, so I think you're still pushing hard because when you say the word I adjust for 0 level on my, I've got a VU meter coming off the audio of my 7300, so I can adjust for 0 level as you say the word audio, and then when you start speaking after you've set the level, you're about 3 dB lower as your speech level is versus your audio set level, so you're probably still pushing too hard on that, Roger? Roger. Now, tell me about your antenna system for about 10 seconds, and let me listen to you for a minute.
All right. Just got done building a DX Commander, and I do have a hex beam in the driveway we want to put up in the spring. My favorite to put up in the spring. Basic off-center fed dipole. I think you can't go wrong with that. And if you don't think you're going in the right direction, just change how you hung it, and then you'll get a different direction. KJ4ZEO.
Roger, William. Well, what I would do is I would leave my ALC meter out for a while, and you've got to have something to do as you talk to your friends and neighbors around the world. So I would leave my ALC meter out and concentrate on trying to keep that ALC meter in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 as much as possible. And you might have to adjust your mic level just a little bit, but the whole game is to try to keep that ALC meter in the sweet spot as much as possible. And over a period of a couple of weeks or so, you'll probably be able to command that ALC into the sweet spot just with your voice, Roger.
Roger, and I certainly appreciate your help, but I've missed 2 phone calls trying my best not to get off of here because I think it's great. But could I get your call sign so that I can maybe send you an email, please?
Oh, Roger. Call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor KC9VKV. Name is Jim Juliet India Mike, and we're located down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Roger. Well, I appreciate it, Jim, and I believe you are the one that I've heard over the years helping people in this fashion, and I ordinarily would have ignored this phone call, but they keep blowing me up. And I am a property manager, so hopefully nothing is wrong with some apartment.
Oh, Roger that. Well, William, let me let you go, sir. I think we've, been, along the trail there, and we've got some good stuff. And we've been recording all along. And if you want to hear your recording, if you go to YouTube and do the call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3600, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger, Jim. Well, I appreciate, you taking the time, and I'm actually happy. I've heard you try to help other people. I think it's you, and they really didn't know where to go. So I was happy that I've been playing with this radio for the last 3 months and kind of knew what you were telling me to do and where to go and which button to hit, so I could follow along, which is quite helpful. Anyway, appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hope to speak to you further down the log, sir. KJ4ZEO.
Roger, William 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and I wish you luck there. Just remember, keep that ALC meter out, and try to keep your voice in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3 as much as possible. That will be the best thing for your station, I think. 73, sir. Catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.